Hi guys, it's Heather. We're back today with another spreads video. And today we are doing the spread for CIX for their sixth EP album. Okay, episode 2, I'm okay. So I got some inspiration from the photos. So these were the photos that I had printed and the brick wall called to me. So today I've pulled out my brick wall stencil and I pulled out my spackelting. So we're going to make it like a textured background. This spackelting, I have the 8 ounce. I got it off of Amazon. And the little palette knives that I use, I got them in a 5-pack from Amazon. I hauled both of these in my collective haul from January. We are also going to use this to put the paint on the spackelting, and I got this from the Dollar General. I think I hauled it in last month. If I didn't, I hauled it in January. I can't remember when I hauled it, but yes. And this I got off Temu. I think I showed it in one of my Temu videos. I just can't remember which one. And the paints I'm using, I use the Apple Barrel ones from Walmart. So I have the Pavement, which is black, a dark gray, which is the only gloss one I have. And then to get like that red brick color, we're going to go with a Tuscan red that I have. So let's get started because I'm going to try to do the whole page. So it's just going to be me not talking and spackelting. So enjoy. And the 2 knives I like to use out of the set are the 1 and the 2. Okay. Okay. So our spackleting is laid down. So I'm going to have to let it dry before I can paint it. So I'll see you guys once it's dry so we can paint. Hi. So our spackleting has dried. So we are now going to kind of paint our brick. And again, I use the Apple Barrel paints from Walmart. So I have Tuscan Red, Dark Gray, and Pavement. I also have my little painty palette here, which has paint all dried in it because I used it when I did my paint by number. And I use this little jar for my water. I got this at the Dollar General for $1 a while ago. And I have one of my little cheap brushes and then the spongy sponge. And if I feel like I want to, I have my little, these things are supposed to be used for glue, like the little bottle, but I like to dump paint in it and squirt paint. So I have that. I hauled this in, I think, my Temu haul from January. They were 2 for 88 cents on Temu. But I could kind of give you a preview. I don't know how. Okay, here we go. So this is my other brick stencil for like the scaffolding and the like brick. So this is the other stencil I have for brick pattern, and for this one I painted the brick different grays and then did like, I used my like cream paint in here and did in between the bricks. But I do have a finished look of the bricks, which is in my Gothic journal. So we have the more, here's like the page fell out, but here's a more like traditional, like how that brick, the other brick I did, and I did gray in between it instead, but I did use the like red, this same brick stencil up here, and I watercolored this one, but you can kind of see the gist of kind of what they look like. And if you hear me sniffling, allergies have kicked in. It's spring has sprung. The trees are starting to bloom flowers, and allergies are allergies. Okay. So let's just paint and see where it takes us. I might end up pulling out, oh, but the red for the watercolors is too red. That's why I wanted the Tuscan red, because the brick in the CIX photo is like a darker red. That is my hair. I'm going to move the paint palette to this side because I am right-handed and it's easier to have it on this side. So I got the brush a little wet because I want a kind of wetter brush to put the paint on. And it goes faster if the brush and paint are a little wetter. I'm used to doing the other brick stencil, which is bigger bricks than this. And the last time I did this brick, I actually mixed the paint into the spacklting before I put it on the paper with the stencil, but I didn't quite like it. Made the spacklting too runny to work with. And I like to paint over the brick because it leaves like that texture where if you mix the paint in, I mean, you could do it either which way. I don't know, the texture doesn't. So just sit down, enjoy, and watch me paint the rest of the bricks. And I will try to speed this up a little. Hopefully. Okay, as you can tell, I left some spots kind of not painted red, and that's because we are going to paint them black. I figured instead of trying to like do it over, I'm going to do some sections like black, and then maybe not the gray. We'll kind of leave in between the bricks the way they are, because I really don't feel like, and sometimes the grays get a little too glossy, but we'll see how I like it after I paint the black sections. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I think I'm going to leave that like that. I think I like the way the brick look without having to like fill in the spots. And that is totally okay. That is your prerogative. If you do something like this and you want to fill in the spots, then go ahead and fill in the spots. So I'm going to move this off to the side so it can dry a little. And these are matte acrylic paints. They're quick drying. So once you let the spackleting dry, the spackleting is supposed to like sit and let dry for 30 minutes. I did my spackleting early this morning, and I set it and let it dry all day before I went in and painted, just to make sure that it is dry. Sometimes I will go in while it's still wet with my watercolors and paint them. Just know if you do that, your watercolors will bleed through the spackleting. So that is something that I did learn when I was working on my Gothic journal, is that the spackleting, if your spackleting is still wet and you decide to watercolor on top of the spackleting, it will bleed through. So that's why I prefer to just let the spackleting dry completely and then go in with the paints on top. And I like to use the acrylic paints so that it can have time to fully dry. And then you can just go in and it can be nice and dry. And then you have the quick drying acrylic paints, and they dry pretty fast, because we started out and it's been about 30-ish minutes since I started painting, and the bottom ones that we did at the beginning are already dry. So I'm just waiting for the black and the ones at the top to dry a little bit, but the ones at the bottom have already pretty much dried. Oh, excuse me. Okay, I don't have what they kind of like the leather bands, but I think we will make it look good with some studs and maybe a few of the hinges, the screws, and these more gunmetal colored studs. I actually, the title track for this mini album, what is it, the Save Me, Kill Me, was one of my favorite CIX songs last year. So that is exciting. It's a this mini album was probably one of my favorites from CIX. I like the sad, solemn songs. And because we are going to do those just to make sure they stick, we will be using the hot glue gun, which, again, I bought at the dollar store. And to lay the pictures, because there's texture, I will be using double-sided tape. Get my glue gun plugged in so that I can get it heated up. I don't know what washi I'm going to use. If I can get my glue gun to sit. There we go. We'll figure it out as we go. So the paint is almost dry. So okay. Yeah, we just need the black, this black to dry a little. This black over here is pretty much dried. It's just this black in the middle just needs to dry. The reds are pretty much dried. So we are I'm going to put one of these up here. So I'm going to do the double-sided tape. I only cut a little off because I feel like you don't need much. Double-sided tape goes a long way. Okay, so now the black is pretty much dry, so I am going to double side my photos and lay them down. Okay, so I put the tape on. I lost my tweezers. That's okay. More like I misplaced my tweezers. Okay. And for the washi tape, we are going from the Black and White Poet Society, which I pulled out, I bought off Amazon. We're going with this one. And oh, the other one. Okay, now let's lay down some studs and stuff. My glue stick is dripping away over, my glue gun's dripping away over here, which means that our glue is nice and warm. Gotta get my tweezers. Okay, and I think we'll do a few screws and like a hinge or two, and then our gears, and then we will be done. Okay, and then a hinge, and then we'll be done. Oh, I just got hot glue on my pants. Okay. And that is our CIX 6th mini EP. Okay, episode 2, I'm okay spread. I am in love. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe.